A city in New Jersey that you've never heard of has quietly become the Islam capital of America. Paterson, New Jersey, or as you'll hear the mayor call it, Little Palestine, is the latest example of what we're seeing in places like Dearborn, Michigan, and increasingly so in the state of Texas. Entire Muslim enclaves that have completely captured the local government and act as a hotbed for anti-American radical Islamic ideology. And in this video, you're going to see why that matters now more than ever. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel. But if you think that I'm exaggerating even a little bit, let's check out the mayor of Paterson's press conference.
Assalamu alaikum. Mayor, is this loud enough? No. Assalamu alaikum. Little Palestine. Assalamu alaikum. Let's try Palestine way. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak. We are blessed to be from such a beautiful community. As the dear mayor was saying, that Paterson, New Jersey holds the largest Muslim population in New Jersey. So we're blessed for this, alhamdulillah. Also, he said something very interesting that made me very happy, and that was that Paterson was the first city that started off the fanus lighting 11 years ago. And it seems that Paterson is at the forefront of these good actions as all the other cities follow suit. So we're blessed to be from the city, and the city of Paterson, New Jersey is like a home away from home.
I want you to play that clip back. He referred to Paterson, New Jersey, a city in America, as a home away from home for Palestinians. American immigration philosophy used to be anybody can come here if they assimilate into our way of life. Now it's anybody can come here and will assimilate into your way of life. American culture used to be a unique set of values and principles and customs and traditions. Now American culture is simply being accepting, tolerant, and inclusive of all other cultures, traditions, customs, and values. But the innate problem is it was our unique culture that built America into the great country that these people wanted to migrate to. And it's their extremely flawed cultures that led to their countries becoming places they wanted to escape from. And Palestinians in particular are notorious for their radical and violent brand of Islam. They've been kicked out of Jordan, Kuwait, Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, because every time they're welcomed into a neighboring Arab country, they immediately try and start a revolution, overthrow the government, and establish an extremist theocracy like in Iran. That's why no Arab countries were taking Palestinian refugees in this latest war with Israel, because historically, every time they open their doors to Palestinians, the result is the same. And this is in other Arab countries, where the Palestinians simply think these other people are following Islam improperly. What do you think they're going to do here, where we don't follow Islam at all? But if you want to understand the tangible risk to importing people who vigorously hate America and our way of life, let's watch this clip of Nick Shirley interviewing people in Dearborn, Michigan, another radical Islamic enclave.
Now you have all these Islam men yelling Allah Akbar. I have a question for you guys. If America were to get in a war with a country like Iraq, who would you guys defend, America or Iraq?
We won't get in a war. That's not permissible for us. But at the same time,
who would you defend first?
We would support our brothers in Iraq. That's the only way.
So you wouldn't defend America?
We would not defend America.
But you're American.
But at the same time, listen. At the same time, America is our country because we were born here. But in our Islamic book, we're not allowed to fight with people that are against our religion. So we just take up the jail time.
So you would
That's
not.
what we do.
So you would not defend America.
I would go to jail instead of fighting for America.
So at very best, we have millions of military-aged men with split loyalties who are indifferent to the survival of America. And at very worst, we have millions of military-aged men within our borders who are willing to take up arms against us at a moment's notice. That right there is why it's a problem to have a population that isn't bound by a shared history or tradition. If you don't care about America or her history, Why would you care if she survives? As Americans, we understand how unique, special, and beautiful America is in the grand scheme of human history. So we want to preserve it. But for a lot of foreigners, they simply see America as a place where they can get a better job opportunity than back home. And thanks to the left's cultural Marxism war, for the past couple of decades, assimilation has been rebranded as seeking white approval. White people wanting you to engage in cultural erasure to appeal to their sensitivities. Assimilation was rebranded and reframed as inherently racist and intolerant. But if it's racist for me to say I don't want America to look, feel, or operate like Palestine or India or Haiti, then I guess I'm racist. But the guy that you saw in the first clip was actually the deputy mayor, the second in charge. Let's hear from the actual mayor, who's even worse, a white guy selling out his country with a grin on his face.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. Patterson is proud to have the largest Muslim population in the state of New Jersey. And we are a better city because Muslims call Patterson home. And as you can see here in South Patterson on Palestine Way, we are proud to light the Hilal, something that has inspired other cities. As a matter of fact, over 50 cities now in this state light the Hilal, and I'd like to think 60, I stand to be corrected, over 60 other municipalities in the state of New Jersey light a fanus or halal, and I'd like to think that Patterson has inspired all of these cities and towns. Yalla, Zeku, come on. But I want to brag about Patterson first. Patterson embraces and appreciates Islam. So much so that we are one of the few cities in the country where children are afforded a day off for both Eid holidays so they can celebrate with their families.
I want you to understand what he said. Patterson is a better city because Muslims call it home. Not that it's a different city or a unique city. No, it's a better city. That implies the superiority of the people, of the culture, of the religion, of the customs, of the language. He is bending the knee to a foreign culture that now determines the electability of government officials. And I love how the left waged an entire culture war to remove Christianity from schools, from government, from all institutions in the name of secularism, in the name of separation of church and state. But now they're wildly enthusiastic to have Islam embedded in the very same institutions. They never wanted Christianity out of these institutions because it ostracizes people who aren't Christians. They just wanted to completely capture these institutions for themselves. But the problem is, Islam isn't a very tolerant religion. They don't believe in the freedom of speech. They don't believe in the critique of Islam. They don't believe in freedom for women. They certainly don't believe in the separation of mosque and state. And they believe their religious laws are supreme to man-made laws. And they see all man-made laws that are contradictory to their religious laws as an affront to their God. It's a religion of conquest where the highest honor is dying as a martyr in a religious war. And the grand prize for dying in the name of expanding Islam is you go to heaven and get 72 virgins. What a weird religion all around. If I understand correctly, when you build a mosque on earth, you get a house built for you in heaven. It's literally a religion that is predicated on expansion and violent conversion. And that's why in America, we had hundreds, if not thousands of people rallying in the street mourning the death of Iran's Ayatollah. Watch this. Our enemies have weaponized freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly to foment and spread violent anti-American ideology right here on our soil. And that's why I said after the clip of Nick Shirley interviewing the military-aged men, they have no appreciation or reverence or sanctity for the American Constitution or anything that makes America special. They see our sacred rules written for honest and free men as Achilles' heels to be exposed in their enemy. In the more liberal Arab countries, they understand the dangers and threats of radical Islam better than anybody else. And they crack down on Islamic extremism harshly and severely because the extremists see the Gulf countries as traitors, playing the capitalist game, engaging in global trade, consorting with the enemy. They think they're fake Muslims because they're more concerned with economic prosperity than destroying the United States and Israel at all costs. That's why, and I kid you not, in the UAE and Saudi Arabia, they have now banned their students from going to college in the UK for fears of being indoctrinated in radical Islamic ideology. I literally thought it was a joke when I first saw that, but I looked it up and it is 100% real. Muslim countries don't want their kids going to Britain for college because they will come back radical Islamic terrorists. And this video is to raise the alarm so that problem does not happen in America, but it's already festering. But there's one last clip I want to show you from the press conference and then we'll put a bow on this entire thing.
Also, the Adhan, the call to prayer, thanks to the City Council and the administration, can be heard in the city of Patterson when it is time to pray. And I also would like to state that since taking office, we opened up the doors of City Hall for the first time in Patterson's history to have a community iftar to break fast in Patterson. This year, the sheriff will join us. That will be on Thursday, March 13th at 6 p.m. And also, Patterson is probably one of the few municipalities where you have not one, not two, but three Muslim city council members as a part of our governing body. So it is with profound pride today that we gather together as one community.
So noise complaints that would apply to all non-Muslim Americans, you can't blast music out of your window at 3 in the morning, now does not apply to the Muslim call of prayer when it's ringing out across the city at 5 a.m. Why? Because it is a religion of imposition. They impose their culture and religion on you, whether you like it or not. And the goal in all this is simple. Make it a welcoming and comfortable place to Muslims and make it completely foreign and hostile to non-Muslims. And as all the non-Muslims leave the city, the percentage of the Muslim population continues to grow and grow and grow. And eventually you see an all-Muslim city council, a Muslim mayor, and they start passing laws that are more in line with the Quran's teachings. You start to see informal Sharia courts. You start to see all Muslim police forces. You start to see their cultural preferences applied as local law. No dogs in public spaces. And I might be a little bit more accepting of the cultural enrichment if it was coming from a culture that yielded a high-functioning, prosperous society. But no, you have Pakistan's Supreme Court saying it's okay to have sex with 13-year-olds, and if you do, they legally become your property. And now in Britain, there is a governmental push to destigmatize cousin marriages because it's part of Islamic culture. Watch.
There are documented health risks with first cousin marriage, and I agree this is an issue. This is an issue that needs greater awareness on. Virginity testing, forced marriages, and the freedom of women must be forced marriage must be prevented, and the freedom of women must be protected at all times. However, the way to redress this is not to empower the state to ban adults from marrying each other, not least because I don't think it would be effective or enforceable. Instead, the matter needs to be approached as a health awareness issue and a cultural issue where women are being forced against their will to undergo marriage. In doing so, it is important to recognise for many people this is a highly sensitive issue and in discussing it, we should try to step into the shoes of those who perhaps are not from the same culture as ours, to better understand why the practice continues to be so widespread. An estimated 35 to 50% of all sub-Saharan African populations either prefer or accept cousin marriages, and it is extremely common in the Middle East and in South Asia.
I don't want to live in a country that feels foreign. I don't want to live in a country plagued by extreme third world tribalism. I don't want to live in a country of people who hate us because I must be tolerant no matter what. I don't want to live in a country that is so handcuffed by political correctness we can't even save ourselves. History has shown us what happens when Islam grows and spreads throughout Christendom. The leftist partnership with radical Islam to destroy the evil, oppressive Western powers isn't just going to be bad for people like you and me, it's going to be bad for them too. It's the same partnership that played out in Iran. The leftists partnered with the radical Islamists to overthrow the Shah, and the Islamists killed all the leftists afterwards because they're motivated by religious conviction. The leftists are motivated by some flimsy, childish belief that they exist to liberate the world of oppressors, while the Islamists fundamentally believe they are meant to be the oppressors. And as another American city falls, we can only hope we wake up and save ourselves before it's too late. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Turn on those notification bells so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.